I come from a very liberal, lefty, rah, rah, rah. That has always been my vibe. Then
liberal, lefty, rah, rah, rah. What does that mean? Give me an example of what that amounts to.
I've never ever voted for a party that's not left. I've only ever voted for like Labour, the Green Party. You know, I care about the environment. I mean, I've been vegan for about 20 years. I'm just trying to give you a background, right?
Yeah.
So that was me, happily, you know, moving in those circles, etc., etc. Then the trans debate, I guess it's been coined as, happened. And it just struck me as quite weird that overnight, a lot of left-wing women like JK Rowling and other kind of people had suddenly become transphobic bigots, right? So,
hang on, Lucy.
Sorry.
JK, well, for my money, you can argue about it. JK Rowling is not a transphobic bigot.
No, that was what I was about to say. I was literally about to say that, right? So, to my mind, that seems really weird, right? I was like, that just seems quite odd. She's given so much to charity. She seems like a really decent person. She's rah, rah, rah. So I looked into it and I read her essay, and I kind of spent pretty much the next couple of years reading everything I could about it, and found that actually, no, everything that people had said she had said, and people were thought, you know, it wasn't true. And actually, when you look at it in certain lens, you know, gender ideology, a lot of it is quite, I would say, regressive and, you know, homophobic. And, you know, there's a reason they used to say in the Tavistock they were transing the gay away and they'd been the last lesbian and all of that stuff. Anyway, I then realised that maybe I shouldn't just be believing everything just because my side said it were true, right?
Well, so that's progress. That's good.
I never looked into Tommy Robinson other than just, you know, he's right-wing thug, isn't he? Bit thick. So read everything I could, saw a lot of his interviews, and just realised that he wasn't saying what I had been told by the left wing for the last sort of 10, 15 years that he was saying, you know?
What's he saying?
Well, I've been led to believe that, you know, he just hated everybody who wasn't white.
No, but what did you find him to be saying when you did your research?
Was that he was much more about it's a cultural issue, you know? He thinks that because of the grooming gang scandals and because of lots of the organisations, and, you know, some of them have since been prescribed as terrorist organisations, you know, sort of in the realms of ISIS, are allowed to have offices in the UK. I don't know, there was just so much stuff that it was not as black and white as I had been led to believe.
Well, nothing is.
And nothing ever is it, right?
No.
So with the whole JK Rowling, then this, and I just thought, you know what? I'm going to go and see. I want to go and talk to these people. I just want to see what the vibe is, because I'm so fed up of being told stuff and then finding out actually that's not what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and I chatted to loads of people, and my experience was similar to the previous lady who called. And all it makes me think is, and it's something that I've thought since Brexit, is, you know, we cannot keep on calling half of the population stupid, right-wing, uneducated bigots. A, because it's not true, but B, because it's clearly pushing people away.
Well, yeah, I mean, some people do, you're right. I certainly don't.
I know you don't.
But equally, are you satisfied that you know enough about Tommy Robinson's history? This is a man who was a member of the British National Party, a racist party, the British Freedom Party, a fascist party, the EDL, a racist party. Has he just softened and now he's just a man who loves his country, or would you dig a bit deeper?
I watched his Oxford Union debate address 10 years ago. Mm. And it seems to be he's saying a lot of the stuff that he is. You know, I'm not saying now I like Tommy Robinson or that I think he's the answer. Or
are you at all... Okay, here's the final question. Are you at all worried?
Side a disservice.
But are you at all worried that... let's use him as an example, that a man such as he talks so often about immigration and connects it to sexual assault versus immigration and connecting it to being part of the fabric of our day-to-day lives, sustaining the NHS, sustaining teaching, sustaining the hospitality sector. But he and others talk constantly about rape in relation to migrants. That's my biggest worry.
He talks about the grooming gangs.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
You know, this is what I'm saying. It's a lot more.
Does he talk about white men being the majority rapists of children who are being
but
abused, and it's largely their own
he
children. Does he talk
He
about
does.
that? Does he?
Yeah, he
What's
does.
he said?
Because he openly says that, of course, that would make sense because, you know, we're a majority white country.
No, I'm not talking about the numbers. I'm talking about the fact of it. That I don't recall him constantly worrying about the physical safety of young British women and girls from sexual predators until the grooming gangs. I don't remember him saying a word about it until the grooming gangs. And there are concerns around the grooming gangs, of course, because what they are is a group of paedophiles with a particular MO and a particular pattern of behaviour. All paedophiles have a particular MO and a particular pattern of behaviour. I just don't remember Tommy Robinson and his mates talking about it quite so much, apart from the grooming gangs. And just think on what the reason for that might be, Lucy.